Hey guys, welcome to another What Is It?
What is it? Come and see here at Manna University.
All right, so we are back. Thank you for joining us once again. I am Dee, and as always, we have a guest host. And so this time we have Tamara as our
Hello.
guest host. And so of course, if you've never watched What Is It podcast before, we focus on three main areas: educate, equip, and empower. So we'll have three main segments with some questions very specific to those. And it's going to kind of all be about Tamara and her education at Manna University. If you joined us at all last year, you know that most of our guests in the previous year, they were like teachers and pastors and things like that. But this year we've been talking to a lot of our students, like current students. And so, Tamara, you are one of them. How are you?
I am doing good. If you hear me coughing, please forgive.
Yeah, she's got a little tickle.
There is what we like to call the nasty yellow cloud outside, which is pollen is attacking us like crazy. So other than that, I'm doing well.
Yeah, we could reschedule this for a later date, but she probably gonna sound the same way because pollen ain't going nowhere for a while.
Yeah.
So, all right. So why don't you? I know you. She knows you, but they may not know you. So why don't you tell them a little bit about you?
Okay. Like she said, my name is Tamara. I have been living in Fayetteville majority of my life. I grew up military, so I've lived in Germany, traveled a lot. But my mom retired out here, I think in 2010, so I've been here for quite some time. So this is my adoptive hometown. I grew up coming here to Manna Church. So this is technically my home church. So I've been in the Mannaverse for quite some time now. Yeah. I don't know what else they want to know.
That's good. Okay. Although I like to share that she has a fur baby that she's very, 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 very intentional and very serious about.
Her name is Delilah. She's 8. She's a lab collie mix. So I get into disagreements with everyone, whether she's a big dog or a medium dog. Isaiah swears that she's a medium dog. I think she's a big dog. She's like 57 pounds.
If I compared her to my dog, she's a big dog.
Yeah.
She's big dog. Like big dog.
Yep, Delilah, I've had her for quite some time. I rescued her from a rescue. I'd like to say rescue dogs are better than getting them from a breeder. There's something about the character traits that they have that I think is just a little, like, I think Delilah was a street dog.
But she got that street smarts.
Yeah, but she knows how to sit, and she's street smart, but she's also very like intelligent.
She's
smart.
Obedient too, man. We watched the whole show one day, and I'm sure she wasn't intending to put on the show, but it was like she was doing all the things. She was rolling all the things my dog just don't do.
She knows how to roll over, the typical sit, stay. She spent a lot of time with my mom's dog, who is a service dog, so she knows how to do front. So she'll like stay, and then you walk away, and then you tell her like front, so she'll come run and she'll sit right in front of you and all that. Yeah. If we go on walks, you can let her off the leash and she doesn't run away. She might get a little ahead of you, but the moment you call her name, she'll stop and she'll wait for you. And then when you get a little closer, she'll run a little bit. So, yeah.
I love it. My dog does none of those things.
I say I could talk about Delilah all day.
Not a single one. Anyway. All right, so we're not here to talk about fur babies.
Okay.
We're here to talk about education, equipping, and empowering. And so we're going to learn a little bit about what that looks like in your day-to-day education. So let's start by telling us your Manna U story. Like, how did you get to Manna U? Don't laugh too hard because you're going to cough.
So glad you asked these, almost as if you were there.
Almost. It's crazy.
So long time ago, in the beginning,
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. So I actually was going to Fayetteville State University. I was getting my degree in forensic science, with a minor in chemistry and criminal justice. I had 1 year left, and I started really getting invested in my relationship with the Lord, reading my Bible every day and just getting sucked into all of the things that the Bible like provided, the stories, and reading the New Testament and the Gospels really intrigued me more. Um, I attended what Manna U had, which was their beach days, and we are there. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and as I'm crossing the crosswalk, having a conversation, I step on a nail, and the nail was like this big.
I love how her Manna U story starts with a nail in her.
It has to though.
Yeah,
like there's no, you can't cut that out because it's important.
No, it's relevant.
So yeah, there's a nail like this big sticking out my foot. We get it out, and then that's when I met Dee and Jamie and some of the other Manna U staff, and everybody's concerned for me. I thought I was going to die of tetanus because there's like a 4-hour ride home, and I still hadn't gotten a shot, so I thought it was like an instantaneous. I'm done for. But that didn't happen, thank God. So you fast forward a little bit more. Later on in the week, I'm here at service, and I'm asking them about different things like our growth track and how do I get signed up to start doing more things. And Dee came up to me and she was like, hey, how's your foot? Are you okay? And I was having conversations with some people about like mentorship. What is it? What does it look like? And different things like that. So I'm explaining to Dee that like, yeah, I'm trying to get signed up for the growth track, different things. And when I brought up mentorship, she was like, well, I love mentoring. And so her and I got connected. At the time, she was over the internship that Manna Church had. So she was like, we have interest meeting. I really think you should, come check it out. And I'm like, yeah, maybe when I'm done with school. I have a year left. And I've been in school forever. I'm almost done. Long story short, or to make a long story, just a little bit shorter. I ended up signing up for the internship. The internship was partnered with Manna U, doing studies and stuff here. So 2 weeks before my semester started at FSU, I canceled all my classes, signed up for Manna U, and yeah, I just recently, March of last year, got my bachelor's in Christian leadership. Now I'm pursuing a degree in Masters of Arts, with concentration in biblical studies. So yeah, it's the beginning. We'll fast forward to where we.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there that we don't have time for. Yeah. But your Manna U story starts with a nail in your foot.
Nail in my foot.
And you went from simply being invited to a staff beach day, because it was a staff beach day, and you don't know anything about this, but our staff would take a day twice a summer as our all staff time to just get together and enjoy one another. And we would go to the beach that's like 4 hours from here, maybe not that long, and it was in families included. And so one of our staff members included her as family, so she got the invite. So she getting an invite ended up, and now her being in a master's program. So
yeah,
anything's possible.
Yeah, won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Okay, so you're currently a student. Tell us what degree plan you're in and what made you choose this direction.
So currently, like I said, I'm doing my Masters of Arts. I can never get the wording right.
It's okay.
Masters of Arts in Biblical Studies. I can get my Master's in Biblical Studies. I can tell you that.
Yep.
So when I first got here and I was getting signed up for classes, we had our bachelor's in biblical studies that was just now in the works and in the process of becoming a thing. So I did Christian leadership because, I'm a Christian, I'm a leader, and how do I use this in different things? Because my intention was very much to still go back to forensic science.
Yeah.
So this was
We
supposed to be
we
just
love good intentions.
This was supposed to be a quick side quest,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
How'd that work out for you?
yeah. And so biblical studies was something I was really interested in because of the fact that I'm like, man, I'm really into my Bible. Like, I really want to know more about the stories. I want to know, like, biblical studies to me sounded exactly what it was, the study of the Bible in deeper context. And so when I started my master's, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to shift from Christian leadership to biblical studies because that's originally where my interest was. And now that I know that for sure this is a program that I can sign up for, I jumped head first. I think you had another question in there.
I asked. Sorry. Sometimes I tell you it's technology. No, you answered it.
Okay.
The question was, tell us your degree plan and what made you choose that direction. Okay, so there's a lot of context there, right? You're talking about how, this wasn't quite available yet, so you did this because it just seemed like the right thing, and then you ended up going with biblical studies. What have you gained from that thus far? This is not actually on here, but this is just, now I'm side questing it.
Yeah.
What do you feel like so far? So I know you're only a semester and a half into your master's program. I'm certain that you've gained something. What have you gained thus far?
Yeah. Man, I've gained a lot, and I don't want that to sound like a cop out answer, but it's the truth. If we go from where I was, I mean, I've learned how to be a better student. And I say that because my forensics degree was a lot of memorization of, I have an exam coming up. I need to make sure I know what it is that I need to do. Here, I feel like I'm actually learning the information, and not just trying to pile in all of the things that I have with the reading. And then you do like book reviews, like you're actually writing out what is it that I've learned, because a lot of the teachers here want to hear from you, not necessarily what's the book saying. Like, it's how has it impacted you. So I really enjoy that. I like the fact that I don't know, I feel like I am stewarding school better because of the fact that, like, the programs and the way that it's set up, I'm able to actually learn, which isn't something that I could confidently say about my forensics program. I feel like that I was just trying to get through school so I can get a cool fancy job. Where here, it's not about, I don't know, it's my whole perspective has shifted. And so, like, now I'm working at Manna Church and I'm doing finance, which was never ever where I would have put myself.
Tell them your plans, right?
Yeah. I was not the best in math and all of those things, and so now here I am in a career that I wouldn't have picked, doing a job I probably wouldn't have picked. But you can truly see how God has used school to make me better in the job that I have, which I absolutely love. Yeah. I don't know. I've grown in all kinds of ways. This is good. My leadership,
and not just grown, but have been able to effectively walk in it, right? Because I think the cool thing about a story like yours, and we had, I think it was Michelle Potoff on last month. I think stories like those are so cool, even my own, right? I think they're cool because sometimes when you go to university, you don't get to actually walk out the thing that you've learned until you're done.
Yeah.
Like, you think about all the people who go to, school for journalism or criminology and all those things, and they have to finish before they get to walk in those. But not here at Manna University. At Manna University, you get an opportunity to walk out the very things that you're learning while you're still in learning.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, that's we're talking about what you've learned from your master's program in the first semester and a half, but if we had this conversation again in a year, you could probably have a whole new list of things that you learned.
And I think the cool thing too is, I mean, if we look at how amazing God is and how He works, when I first started coming, most of my family knew of God, knew of Jesus, but didn't know Him. And now that I've been here, first of all, they're like, okay, we've seen you changing. So what is it like? What is so great about the things that you're learning in the schooling, or even having those conversations of challenge? You know, like my sister, she's a new believer and she is in the process of trying to understand different things. And so she's like, okay, well, I have a theory about this. And then I can take what it is that I'm learning in school and like, okay, well, here's why that theory not necessarily is wrong, because I'm glad that you're thinking about it. But like maybe I can bring in some of my schooling to kind of help teach you a different way of thinking when it comes about things like that. So I think it's cool, like you said, how I get to apply, not just apply these things not just in work because I work in a church, or we're called to serve, but like actually in my everyday family life, I'm able to use what it is I'm learning.
That's good. That's good. All right, so that was the equip segment. The educate segment. Now we're going to step into the equip segment. So as a current student, what is one way you are equipped in your day-to-day student life?
In a way of...
So when you think about being equipped to be able to do something, like you feel like
I'm prepared?
Yeah, basically.
How to prepare to be a student?
No.
Oh.
How what you're learning as a student has equipped or prepared you to do the day-to-day.
Got it. I mean, I think that goes exactly into what I was just saying about my family is everything to me. And those who I'm close to, same thing. Like, I enjoy community. I enjoy being around those that I love. And so with that, my heart really cries for those who are lost, especially my loved ones. So those that I get to talk to every day, like all of the things that I'm learning has helped me to be a better steward of the knowledge that I have, for me to be able to then use it with those that I love.
That's good.
So, like I said, my sister's in a season of wanting to know more, and I'm able to take all of the knowledge that I have from my undergrad and apply that in the sense of, even if I was working in a secular world, I'm still a Christian. And so, they have the laws or the rules that you're not supposed to like speak of these things. Like, it's an unspoken rule. Sometimes it is a spoken rule. You're not supposed to talk about these things. Okay, but it's still who I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm able to still be a Christian, a follower of Jesus, and exemplify the fruits of the Spirit without being too pushy, shovey. You need to act this way, be this way. And so in that same sense, I'm able to apply that with someone who's a new believer in my own family, and not make it feel like I'm better than you, or this is why you shouldn't do those things or act that way. But instead, I'm able to lead by example, even though I'm the younger sister, even though I'm the daughter, even though I'm the niece. So I think that's pretty cool, because again, not only as a student am I learning things, but I'm also called to serve or to lead. And so I'm applying those things that I'm doing in a more professional setting in my own personal life.
Yeah, that's good. So very, very practical. The equipping is very practical and hands-on for like literally your day-to-day life. Things that may not have anything to do with the university or with the church, but just your everyday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then, I mean, same thing if we even look at, so I coach volleyball. Same thing. As an adult who's teaching younger kids, Parents don't want you pushing off your ideals and all those things. And so having different coaches there as well, they get to see like, oh, well, Coach T, you're so much nicer. You're so much more fun. You're so much more fill in the blank of whatever it is. And it's not me trying to be the best coach out there,
Right.
better than all the other ones, but it's just me being a follower of Christ and treating you the way that he would treat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good. Very, very practical. Okay. This is where we get to do a fun shout out. So, who is a staff or faculty member that you feel has really helped to equip you so far as a Manna University student?
Only one.
Okay. I mean, don't shout out the entire, faculty group, but give me a handful. Don't go crazy.
Okay, well, two professors that I've had almost my entire undergrad was Jeff Christensen and Stephanie Ertel. They were very fundamental in my foundation here because like 95% of my classes was them. They pushed me to be a better student. Stephanie grades a little stricter, but I'm not I don't think that's a bad thing. I appreciated it because she's very direct with what it is that she wants.
Yeah.
Which then causes me to be more intentional about the things that I'm writing, the things that I'm saying, the tests that I'm taking, like whatever it is. I'm being more intentional, not from, like I said before, that memorization.
Yeah.
But because I actually want to get the most, and you can tell that's where both of their hearts are. I mean, obviously, Jamie, Dr. Serrano, Catherine Malua, like you guys have been very good when it comes to my well-being as a student, not necessarily for logistics of your guys' side, but like who I am as a person.
That's good.
I think the staff as a whole, whether it be faculty or teachers, I don't ever know the difference.
The faculty or the teachers and the professors, the staff is us.
Okay, well, there you go. Both of y'all.
Yeah, both of y'all. Okay.
Both of y'all do a really great job of seeing me for who I am.
That's good.
If I need to come over here, and I say over here because Manna Church and Manna U are in the same parking lot. So if I need to come over here just to, be seen or be checked on, like you guys are very intentional about like, hey, Tam, how are you? If I need to come over here for school stuff, you guys take the time out of your very busy schedule to sign me up for classes or answer questions or hear my grievances. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. I think Manna U as a whole, not just some, which was why my question was what it was. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I think that one thing that I have heard across the board in the year now that we've been doing this podcast is that same idea that the people on staff and the faculty members don't just care about the education portion. As someone who went to one of the really big
I couldn't even tell you who
universities,
my dean was.
Listen.
I made a dean's list every semester.
And I don't even know which one of y'all's list am I on. Which list do I actually because it's so for real, and this is not a knock on. It's not a knock on the other universities, but it's the reality.
Bigger, yeah.
Like for us, like do we want to get bigger? Sure, we do, because that means more students are being educated, equipped, and empowered to go out and do God's work in the kingdom. Yeah. But while we are this small, intimate university, I think we take advantage of and do a really, really good job. I'm saying this as both a current student, a previous student, and a staff member. I think we do a really, really good job of caring for the souls of our students, not just the education. And it's something that I specifically felt like I lacked in a school that I went to prior to Manna University is that it was all about the classes, the education, the classes, the education. Nobody ever sent a message about how I'm doing. No one ever looked at my grades and said, hey,
this isn't like
this
you.
is not you. What are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, no one ever did that.
And then it's met with grace. Like, not that we're
That's
able to
good.
push you guys over or anything like that. Not that I personally would intend to, but if I did get, if someone did reach out to me and say, hey, I see that your grades you haven't turned an assignment, whatever, then I could say, oh, somebody in my family's really sick or something, and it's met with, okay, get this to me next week. You'll have a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, where other universities, some people just don't care.
Yeah. I could care less about your sick cousin.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Exactly. So that's something else that I appreciate. I think that goes back to what I was saying about being seen. I could walk in the hallway and see Dr. Serrano, who's our president, and he knows me by name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
whereas if I were to stand in the line at Chick-fil-A on campus and the president were to walk in, I wouldn't know who the man is. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't know who I am either. So I appreciate the intentionality that both faculty and staff across the board have. Yeah.
That's really, really good. And I think it's what makes, to me, this is not me in any way, shape, or form saying Manna University is perfect. Meet a perfect university, and I'm gonna tell you to run, because a university is ran by who? Humans.
Yeah.
And humans, we be humaning. So I'm not saying we're perfect, but what I am saying is that we have this ability to care on a level that, for people like myself, and because of our relationship, I can even speak for you, we don't got that level of care sometimes in our own families. So to have that level of care at a university where most of the time we think like, oh, you only care about my money coming in, so you trying to get me enrolled in all the classes. I've literally heard an enrollment counselor say, don't do that to yourself. You literally have, a sick wife who's going through stuff, and you just try to sign yourself up for 6 classes. No.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. There ain't a lot of universities that's going to say that, but that's that idea of caring.
Yeah. But, obviously God works all things out for good. When I went to Sand Hills, this is where I got my associate's degree, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and I was in associates in science, and school was going a little bit longer than it should have. Community college is only really supposed to be like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was coming up on that second year, and my advisor was like, oh, well, I don't know, but I listened to her. You know what I'm saying? So here I was going to say, I don't know what she was doing, but, I was listening to her. I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. I'm telling her I want to go for veterinary medicine. Like, I want to start off small and do this and that. So I'm in my associate's in science. And she says, oh, well, most people that follow this degree, they do their associates in arts. So you should switch. Why that made sense to me, I don't know. But I said, all right, cool. So I switched, which then caused me to meet that deadline of like 2 years or whatever and not put me over in being a super senior. So she had me switch, and I switched, and I finished, and I got my associates in arts, and then I changed to forensic science. So then my degree went, this is good for nothing or whatever. And then you fast forward, and now here I am getting my bachelor's in arts, and they're like, oh, you already took all of your classes because you got your associates in arts. Yeah. And then like now I'm getting my master's in arts. And so it's cool to see that how, again, going back to our plans, you have plans one day and then come to find out that it didn't work out in the middle, but God was like, oh no, you remember what you thought was a waste.
Yeah. No, for certain.
I'm gonna start preaching.
Come on.
What you thought was a waste. Okay. What you thought wasn't going to be useful. I had a plan for that. And so now here we are.
Y'all, I didn't say this. It just came to my thoughts. Pastor Tamara?
Oh.
Is that a thing? No? Okay. Carry on.
No,
but
but
that's good.
but for real, like, and he does that in all different areas. But this one specifically, I'm able to look back and say, well, it didn't make sense to me before. You know, God was using my advisor is what I'm gonna say, because I was in my associates in science. I'm going for science, and even when I switched to forensic science, it still would have applied better. But that's not the plan that he had for me.
Come on.
Instead,
That's
he
so good.
planned the whole time for me to be here at Manna U, getting my education in biblical studies, so then I can go on to do bigger things for the kingdom. Is what we'll say and how we'll say it.
If I had the space, I'd get up and shout on it.
It's all right, Dr. D. We gonna be there together.
Yeah. Moving right along. She messy. That was payback. You don't know, that was payback for calling her a pastor. It's fine. Okay. If y'all can't tell, there's an interesting dynamic here, okay?
I'll be Dr. Pastor.
Yeah.
Pastor Doctor?
Pastor
Doctor. No, Dr. I'll come first. I work too hard for that. Dr. Pastor.
Dr. Pastor.
Tamara Claxton. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. I'm just saying the same thing. You heard it here first. Y'all gonna look. Y'all gonna reel this one back and see.
That's good. That's good.
All
You
right.
invited me here.
Yes. What are we doing again? All right. So we're gonna jump into our last segment, which everybody knows it's my favorite, and it is Empower. So Tamara, you are pretty active in your local church. You are a full-time employee, a serve team member. You participate in outreaches, all while working on your master's degree. Do you have a short testimony about how you have been empowered to do all that you do?
Short? I can never do anything when it comes to talking.
That's because you got Jeff Christensen as your teacher most of the time. I love you, Pastor Jeff. Hopefully you don't watch this so you don't come for me. Okay.
How I've been empowered, I mean, I think it goes back to everything that I've said. You know, I'm seen here on an intimate level when it comes to the leadership here at Manna U, but the same thing at Manna Church. So I work for the executive, our CFO. So he's third in line when it comes to the food chain. Like, that's direct leadership. So I'm seen by people that have, I don't want to say a lot of power, I don't like the way that sounds, but high influence here in our local church. And so whether that comes to the things that we do down at the Dream Center, like, same thing, I'm in direct communication with them as well. And so I think all of the things that I've been learning and how I've been growing here at Manna U as a leader, it's been seen by those around me from when I started as an intern. Like, we've witnessed you as an intern then grow up into the leadership that you are in now. And so I want to give you this next thing to do, like be a co-leader on a mission trip. Okay, you are now a co-leader. I'm going to give you co-leader one more time just to kind of, you know, prep you a little bit better. And now next year I want you to lead. And so I think it's different things like that going back to how I said, like, being seen, but also the fact that everyone cares about my well-being. Everyone cares about my spiritual well-being. How are you growing within your relationship with God? Okay, now let's do a little bit of this to help it grow. Okay, now I want you to lead an outreach. Well, now I want you to, you know, come with me down to the Fayetteville Cares, and let's serve in different ways. And so I feel like as the opportunities pop up, people think of me, which then allows me to step into these roles and grow a little bit more. Yeah.
That's really good. So is there a specific form of leadership that has led you most? So
I know what you're saying. Like
you are
or transformational, or like those kind of, like, the leadership styles, or
sure, yeah.
What? I guess.
Yeah, so like is there something in particular as far as leadership goes? Because there's a lot of different styles of leadership. There's a lot of different ways that you personally have been led, directly, indirectly, mentorship, discipleship, like all of those kinds of things. Like you said, being able to be directly under leaders of influence. Is there anything in particular that you feel like has been the number one thing? Like, not like that it's better, but it's just been that thing that's got you the most.
Um, it's something that I've written a lot about when it comes to like anytime leadership comes up in any class that I'm taking, and it really is servant leadership. Like transformational leadership is good, and that's why I was asking, because transformational leadership is typically based on like putting those that you're leading in different places where they can take ownership of whatever vision or idea or goal that you present. So I mean, like Justin does a lot of that. He gives me different projects that like, okay, this is yours.
Yeah.
Like this is what I want to happen. Like however you get there, it is up to you. That helps to grow me, but it really is servant leadership, the humility. And I don't know why it sticks with me as much as it does, but the humility of Jesus is to the point where it really is not about me. Like, you know, I'm not gonna try because I don't remember how he says it verbatim, but this is the TAM version, TAM amplified version of it. He's pretty much saying like, I didn't come to be served, I came to do the serving. You know what I'm saying? So in that same way, when I see leaders of like, no, this isn't about me. Like, I genuinely came for your well-being. What needs do you, like, what can I do for you? That mentality, like, stretches my leadership. So when I'm at the DRC, it has nothing to do about the fact that my feet hurt because we've been standing here for whatever. And like, no, it's genuinely serving the people that come. And then I love when they put me in the lounge area, because I'm able to walk around and talk to people and like, what is it that I could do for you? How can I pray for you? How can I be of service for you today? I think that's one of my favorite things about serving and outreach, that I'm not here for me. And that's the same thing that like working in ministry is not about the money at all.
Yeah.
My uncle works for the city and he's been begging me to come work for the city doing the same job I'm doing. But there's just something about the servitude, that it genuinely is like, it's not about the money. It's not about anything else except for the experience of being able to do for other people more than myself.
Yeah.
I think that form of leadership, when it comes down, same thing with missions trips. I think that's why I absolutely love missions trips, because it's hot and it's tiring and we're out all day and there's flies everywhere, but it's not about me. So I honestly don't care. Like, I don't care that I'm hot. I could take a shower later, you know what I'm saying? Or when I get back home, I have AC and I'll love it even more. But the fact that like, what do you need? You need the gospel, you need clean water. Let me help you do that. Like, so.
That's good. I think that's, man, that's powerful. You took that to a whole nother level. It made me think of two specific instances, because, and it was one of those things, the very first time I seen it, it was one of those things that made me feel like, and this was the first time I saw it was at Manna Church. This is before I came on at Manna University. But it made me think like, I want to be in complete and utter cahoots in a place like this. We were doing the bag stuffing for a Halloween outreach, and when I got down to help, Pastor Michael Fletcher, the at the time the senior pastor of this huge church, right? The one that God gave the idea of multiply to, is down there stuffing bags.
Yeah.
You don't see people doing that. But here he is. He's the senior pastor. It's a bunch of people on staff. Anybody could have went down there, and yet I get down there and he's standing in the thick of it, stuffing them bags. Like, if you didn't know who he was and you walked in that door, you would have thought he was one of us, and he is. But I mean, like, you wouldn't have thought
He was
that he was
in
the
the
senior
seat, yeah.
pastor of this mega church, but because he's down there serving, and that's been his heart. I seen it again. I see it all the time, but these are two that stick out in my head because of their roles. Recently, we had our golf tournament, and I had to send out an email to the staff to say, hey, I need people who can go be at all the sites to talk to people about the golf tournament because it's our annual fundraiser. Who's the first person that signed up? The president of the university. First person on the list to say, I've got this. Literally, the first person to sign up, all these people, and the first person to sign up was the president of the university. He said, I'm going to take this day. I'm going to take this day at this time for, he took like an entire Sunday and all he's doing is standing out there, being a presence. So if anybody have any questions about the golf tournament, he can talk to them and sign them up. He didn't have to do that. He's the president of the university. Yeah. And yet he did it and did it phenomenally. And so I think what you're saying is so good. And I think it stands out because that's something we're not used to seeing.
Exactly.
It's just something we're not used to seeing. You see people do the transformational leadership all the time. Yeah. But that servant leadership is different. Yeah. It's for people who are built different, which just so happened to have been one of our themes for our years. Okay. All right, last question. Kinda. So to the listener or the viewer out there who is thinking they can't do this for whatever reason, but there's something in them that feels like they're supposed to, how would you empower them to go for it?
That was the question?
That was the question. The kind of last one.
In the beginning, little old Tamara said, I can't join the internship because I have 1 year left of school and I've been in school way too long. Since they put you in school. That's still true today. Since they put you in school, I've been in school. I'm 27. So, and there's something about the can't word that I think that God really enjoys. Because he is the God of impossible. So I think there's something about the can't.
It's almost like never.
Like never. Yeah, that really riles him up to like, pull one of these. And as you're like, but I can't. He's like, you got another one? I can't do it. Okay, I got you. That's good. So yeah, but I say that jokingly, but I'm being for real. Like you can ask Dee. I was very adamant. I cannot. I have 1 year left, and I have to finish. And it was the more that I pushed against it, the more that it felt.
What was that question he had me ask you?
When
we were standing in the very second time I met you, we were standing out there right before you got to the mentorship, and I asked you.
Because I'm over here like, oh, but I don't want to stop school. She was like, oh, but it's just an interview. You didn't even ask me a question. You said like,
no, I asked you a question. I asked you what would happen. What would you do?
Oh, when we started mentoring?
If God...
when we started mentoring.
Was that when I asked it to you?
Yeah, it was our very first interest mentoring meeting. Oh. You said, what's your 5-year plan? I gave you this whole big spiel. I wanna finish forensic science. I want to join the Air Force. I want to get really high clearance. Like, I wanted to do cool stuff. And she was like, She has a thing. She's, and she's listening. We're at Chick-fil-A. She's eating her little Chick-fil-A. And then she's like,
her little Chick-fil-A, right?
She's like, okay. And so what if God's plans are different than your plans? And here I am, fresh new believer, like on fire for, the Lord. I said, well, it doesn't matter because God's plans are always better than my plans. Whatever it is that he has. I said it just like that. So much enthusiasm. Like, it doesn't matter, because God's plans are always better than my plans. And then God said, okay. Okay, great. Let's see how that works out. And he said, okay, well then, 2 weeks before your semester starts, quit your classes. And I was but I don't want to, but I want to finish. And then he said, no. Go ahead. So I said, oh, okay. I cried to her on the phone, like sobbing my eyes out because I was like, this place feels like it's where I'm supposed to be. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be here.
Leaving the interest meeting.
Sobbing my eyes out. And I was like, like this feels right. I feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. Mind you, this is before I understood what the Holy Spirit and like the connection and him speaking to you. This is before all of these things, before I understood what that actually meant.
Yeah.
And so I know for sure that the Holy Spirit was like, no, this is where I need you. This is where I want you to be, all of those things. And so I'm fighting against it. So the more that you say that you can't and you never and you all of those things, the more that it flares up. The more I don't know, I think he thinks it's funny. I think he like Got it. Okay, yeah. You can't do that one? Okay, cool. Yeah. We won't do it because Tamara said so. Everybody stop. Tamara said we can't do it. I think that's,
She's so petty.
I love him. I do. I love him so much. And I know, like, I think that's where that whole idea of his plans are so much better, like, is true. And I really believe it. And I still believe it now. Mm-hmm. It's just not how I want it to. God, I'll join the internship when I'm done with my friend. Like, that was the debate that him and I had. It wasn't really a him and I had with him. Yeah. And he heard me, but...
And then he went on about his business. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wanted to be done with my bachelor's. I was done. Yeah. I'm not going back to school. I've been in school since they put you in school. I'm tired. I don't want to be in school anymore. He said, okay.
Then she finished her bachelor's and they was like, master's.
Yeah.
What's she doing right now?
And then you know what he told me that after that?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Doc, yeah. I bet it is. Dr. D. Yeah.
He didn't tell me doctor before 30, so.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Well, that'd be impossible. Way past that. No. That'd be crazy. Don't think you could go backwards. Okay. Yeah. All right. Last question. This one wasn't on there. This is a bonus fun one. Ready?
Okay. Yeah.
If you could ask Christ to change one problem in the world today, and don't just say sin, because, that covers a multitude. But if you could ask Christ to change one problem in the world today, what would you like him to change? Just one. Not all sin. Just one sin or one problem.
Just one sin. What's the worst?
I said it's fun, and yet she got to think.
Well, because then I'm starting like, okay, what's the most? No, I think it goes back to the whole humility thing I said before. I think I would ask him to just make the world more humble. You know what I'm saying? I don't make anything short when I speak.
And we know.
So, I'm going to go on a tangent with this one. But I just say, like, I don't know. I think how selfish the world has become, it really bothers me. Like that flares everything inside me. And Ben Goodman one day asked me, like, have you sat and asked the Lord why these things? Because I cry at baptisms, like there's no tomorrow. I bawl my eyes out.
Sobs.
And he's like, and he catches me every single time. And so he asked me one day in the hallway, like, have you asked the Lord, why is it that you cry so hard at baptisms? And I'm like, I haven't. And he was like, because the things that you cry about, like, I believe that has something to do with, like, what you're called to do. Like, the things that happen when it comes to the Lord and it makes you cry or it touches, your sensitivity. There's something in that that it can have to do with your calling. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that right there, the selfishness of the world is one of those things that makes me cry. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people can be that way. I get that it's a sin issue and all of those things, but for me, like, just taking the time to be about other people, not to allow people to walk over you, but taking the time to actually stop and ask the man on the corner, does he need something to eat? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have money on me right now, nor do I really want to have to do that, is to give you money unless the Holy Spirit tells me to, but I would love to get you something to eat. Melissa and I were out one time and we're at Chipotle and I see a man outside digging through the trash, and immediately, like, no, sir. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not that I'm judging him or anything, but you're clearly hungry. I had to beg the man to please. And then he was like, no, it's okay. I already found something. And I'm like, no, sir, please let me buy you something to eat. You know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where I had to say, like, please don't block my blessing. Like, you're not allowing me to be blessed because you won't let me bless you. Like, please just let me do that. And when I put it in that way, like, he came in and let me buy him a meal. And then, I invited him to service. I was around Rock. Months go by and I'm walking in service at the 8:15 with my sister. I never come in that early. And he's sitting there. You know what I'm saying? This same man from almost a year ago is sitting here and he's like, thank you so much for that invitation. I've been coming every Sunday since. Wow. And so like now, and he wasn't a believer, like, you know what I'm saying? And now here he is. I would love to believe that he is a believer now, but it's just things like that if you take the time to be outside of yourself, there's so many people at lunchtime in that Chipotle and nobody took the time to ask the man, can they buy him something while everybody's watching him dig through the trash. You know what I'm saying? The immediate reaction is to judge, but what happens when you stop and hey, let me bless you today? The man is now coming to service, and it's not because of me. I'm not taking any credit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Good. That's good.
It's just things like that. I think humility, I would ask.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I can make that longer, but...
No, we'll stop there. We'll stop there because, longer for you means tears. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this... All right, so this has been great. Other than which you had a long, a long stint of not coughing. So that was good. God showed up.
It's time to wrap it up.
He said, wrap it up. Wrap that thing up. But we thank you so much for joining us. I loved everything that you shared, and I think that it's students like you that are going to be the reason why there's a student out there who's going to watch this by happenstance. Yeah. Well, it won't be by happenstance. They'll think it's by happenstance.
That's what you thought was.
Mm-hmm. And because of your testimony that you just shared, it's very much a possibility that there is some great blessings in heaven that you won't know about on this side. Right. Of heaven. So thank you so much.
Yeah. You practice humility.
Yeah. And she's really on this humility thing. We thank you so much. We appreciate you. We thank you for hanging out with us and laughing with us and being goofy with us. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye.